It ain't luck, it's destiny.
Hi everyone, welcome. I just want to make a short video about my current Twisted Fate build and runes I'm using. I've been having some people reach out to me on the Discord, also in the YouTube comments. Some people took note that I'm changing up my build and changing up my runes, and they were kind of wondering why. So yeah, I thought I might as well just cover that right in one video and show you guys my reasoning. Before we start, I want to just say that I'm not, an all-knower. It's not because I'm using this that it's the right build and the only build. It's just a build that I'm currently having the most success with, and you are free to do with it whatever you want. So yeah, let's dive into it. I have the build set up over here, so the old and the new one. So this was the old build, right? I was using this build before the Twisted Fate nerfs and also for a short period after the nerfs before I swapped to this one. So you would start Corrupting Potion, that still hasn't changed, that's still the same. And then I would most of the time go for Ionians because those are the cheapest boots, and you do want to get tier 2 boots as soon as possible in the game as Twisted Fate, and because Ionians are really cheap, they give ability haste. That's why these boots were back then in my eyes really good, right? I think they still are, but I just prefer Sorks right now. I'll cover like why and stuff later. I'm just gonna go over the old build first. So you would go Ionian plus Dark Seal, then you would go into Everfrost, and then your second item after Everfrost would almost always be Rapid Fire Cannon, or I would almost always build it. Unless enemy team is full AD, I might go Sonya, but most of the time I will go Rapid Fire Cannon. That item has completely dropped in the new build, so I'm not really building it anymore. Reason for it, like I said, I will explain later. And then after Rapid Fire Cannon, most of the time I would go Sonya. I'm not even sure if I went Lich Bane that often back then. I think I went like Lich Bane after that, or Void, depending on what like enemy team composition was, right, and what item I needed in that moment. So yeah, now to the new build. So like I already said, Corrupting Potion is still the same. The first change you're gonna see in the new standard build is that I swapped out Ionians for Sorks. Now why is this, you may ask? The Sorks are kind of a byproduct of me building more AP items. So I'm dropping Rapid Fire Cannon, and I feel like if you're going more AP items, having Sorks just helps a lot more with Burst. You're gonna have a lot more one-shot potential, and I feel this also goes really nice with Electrocute. You're essentially just going full damage setup. I'm essentially dropping utility items. Ionian boots are utility item, Rapid Fire Cannon is also utility item. This doesn't give damage, it gives ability haste, which is nice, but I would say Sorks are a bit better for TF, because you do like to have that like short burst combo more than just casting abilities off of cooldown, right? So that's why I'm opting in for like Sork boots more recently. And then yeah, Rapid Fire, I dropped that item almost completely. I'm still buying it in certain like situations, but it's quite rare, I would say. So my go-to items are now Sorks plus Dark Seal, instead of earlier they would be Ionian plus Dark Seal. I'm trying to get this item on my first buy, depending on how much gold I have. If I have, let's say, 1.2k, so I have enough for boots but not for Dark Seal, I'll just buy Sorks, and then I'll not buy Dark Seal, so I'll buy Sorks plus Control Ward. If I have less than 1.1k, so I can't buy Sorks fully, I'll buy tier 1 boots plus Dark Seal, and then maybe Amplifying Tome or Ruby or a Sapphire Crystal, something like that, plus a Control Ward. But preferably I'm backing on like 1.5k on average, so I have enough for Sorex plus Dark Seal. That's my ideal base, I would say. And then after that, I'm still going for Everfrost. I still think this is the best mythic on Twisted Fate. I think Crown is a decent item, but it's really situational. And I would say it's really rare that you're gonna have more value out of Crown than Everfrost. I would say this item, it goes hand in hand with Twisted Fate's kit. It gives you wave clear, you get that extended route after you do your gold card combo. It's just a really good item on TF. So for you to build like Crown over Everfrost, like I said, it's gonna be like a really rare occasion. Like let's say enemy team has a lot of melees, a lot of like one ability engages, like maybe or like they have an Evelyn or a Malphite or a Diana, you know, some burst champ like that. But even then, you're probably gonna get more value out of Everfrost probably. So that's still the same. Then the next thing that changed. So as you can see, before I went for Rapid Fire Cannon after Everfrost. Now I'm opting more into Lichbane. Like I said, I'm kind of dropping utility items. I'm having more success recently with just full burst TF. So that's why I'm opting in to go like a Lichbane. Sometimes I'll go Zhonya second, so I'll skip Lichbane. I'll just go instantly, like after Everfrost, I'll go into Zhonya. This is when enemy team has a lot of AD threats, or the Zhonya active is really useful in that certain game scenario. Then maybe I'll go Zhonya. But the standard build would be Sorks, Darkseal, Everfrost, and then Zhonya. After, or Lichbane, sorry. After Lichbane, you kind of have to decide, right? Then the next option would probably be Zhonya or Banshees. I'm not opting into Deathcap yet. I think as a third item, you probably want a utility AP item. Deathcap is good. I just don't think it's good as a third item. This item scales with the amount of AP you have, and I feel like at 2 AP items you don't have enough AP yet to get full use out of it, unless you are some burst mage, like maybe a Veigar who also has AP scaling with his passive. Then you probably want to buy Deathcap earlier. But if you're not Veigar, or maybe you could say like a Syndra or a Victor could buy it earlier as well. But even then, I'm not so sure. But on TF, I would say Zhonya is a lot more valuable to have as a utility item. I think a lot of people also have a wrong idea about this item, because I think a lot of people think this is utility, or like the utility slash defensive. It's for sure utility, but whether it's defensive or not depends on how you use it, because you can use Zhonya really aggressively as well if you play Twisted Fate. Like you can be really cocky with your ultimates if you have Zhonya, like go in enemy backline, look for like cocky flank, where if you don't have Zhonya maybe you would be dead, but because you have Zhonya you can stall and make sure your team arrives before you die. So this item just gives creative players a lot more tools, essentially. So it's not only defensive, Zhonya. And then as standard fourth item, I would say, yeah, Deathcap is the way to go if you're going full AP. This item just essentially amplifies all the AP items you've already bought. I feel like with this build, Deathcap as 4th or 5th would be good, but you have this Rapid Fire Cannon, which doesn't give any AP, so the Deathcap also doesn't amplify anything, right? So that's why I think it's really good if you're going full AP build to have Deathcap at the end. Then as situational items I have, so the Magi. If you have 10 Dark Seal stacks, I always upgrade to Magi. Unless I can maybe complete like Zhonya or Deathcap or something like that. Then I might opt out of doing it, but Preferably if you have 10 Dark Seal stacks, you kind of want to upgrade to Magi as soon as possible. Obviously then you also have to make sure that you are maybe not too cocky, because if you die with this item you lose some of the stacks, right? So you need to keep that in mind for sure. Then if enemy team has a lot of AP, I'm still going for Banshees. A lot of AP in my eyes means almost full AP. So let's say they only have one AD threat, then I think Banshees is a really good item to buy, especially if you're able to kill the AD threat in team fights first. You know, then you have the magic resist throughout the fight to like have as defense, right? I still buy rapid fire cannon now and then if I feel like the extra range is really gonna help me, but it's quite rare. Maybe there's some games where I feel like our team doesn't have the proper setup, or we lack engage, we lack someone who takes initiative in team fights, then I might still go for rapid fire cannon, because the extra range will give me more of that playmaking potential, right? To set my team up for gold cards and start a fight. And then Void Staff if enemy team is stacking a lot of magic resist, so that's still the same essentially. So yeah, that's with the build. Essentially going for full AP right now. That's what I'm having the most success with. There's still some games where I'm buying like mercs, as you can see. But yeah, that is if enemy team has a lot of AP or a lot of CC, right? Then I think mercs are still good. But the standard boots right now are Sorks for me. I'm still buying Ionians now and then. If I'm going the spellbook setup, right? So let's say enemy team has whatever threat. Maybe I feel like spellbook is gonna be better this game. Maybe I want to go resolve secondary. Then I'm still going Ionians, because then I don't have electrocute. So I'm already lacking burst in my runes. So then I might as well go Ionian and build more utility items, right, rather than going burst. So yeah, this game, same thing. I went spellbook setup, and then I went for Ionians instead of Sorks. But boots are still quite dependent. Like some games I'll still go Ionians. It depends. But the standard build, because that's what I'm showing you guys, right? The standard build, the build that I'm using in most games is this one. Right now, at least. So that with the build. Now the runes. Because those also changed a bit. It's mostly still the same, but I changed one thing. So before I would go Ingenious, right? So this would be my setup I used before. Now, since I'm going Sorks more often, I have less ability haste, which is why I feel like Ultimate Hunter is working better for me right now. Also thinking about it more and more, I feel like Twisted Fate as a champ, especially in solo queue, his biggest tool to win or change outcomes of games is his R, right? So it makes only sense that you want to go this, because this makes it so your ultimate has lower cooldown. That's why I'm going Ultimate Hunter. Before I would be like, you know, I already have Ionians, and I felt like Ingenious, since you then have lower CD on your Everfrost, you have lower CD on your Trinkets, you have lower CD on your Zonia. I felt like that might have more value, but recently I've been having more success with Ultimate Hunter. Not to say that this is the only option, like I said at the beginning of the video. I think Relentless is also fine. I think Ingenious is also fine. I've not tested Treasure Hunter enough to have an opinion of it, but yeah, you just need to play towards your runes, right? But this is the setup I'm currently using. Now, another maybe important thing is the dematerializers. So the people who follow my guide know that. So right after the nerfs, I essentially started using the dematerializers differently. I started using 1 demat on every type of minion. Because if you were going a rapid fire cannon build, you wouldn't one-shot the casters anyway at level 9, so it doesn't really make sense to use all demats on the casters, right, if you're going rapid fire cannon build. So I might as well use it on like every type of minion to get more damage overall. But the thing is, if you're going full AP build, so the boots are whatever, Sorks don't influence minions, because minions don't have defensive stats, they don't have magic resist. So Sorks don't make you deal more damage to minions, only raw AP counts. So you could still buy Ionians if you want, but the important part is this. So after your Everfrost, if you're going into AP items, so Lich Bane, Zonia plus Deathcap, you're still gonna be one-shotting the casters level 9 if you use all the dematerializers on them. This wouldn't happen if you went rapid fire cannon into AP items, because now you're missing AP over here. So that's another important thing with the new build, is that if you're going full AP TF, then you can still use all dematerializers on the casters and you will still be able to one-shot them at level 9. I've had people ask me how influential one-shotting them is, because at the end of the day it's just a few extra auto attacks, or you just use Everfrost to like last at them. I'm not sure how influential it is, but the fact of the matter, like the fact is, one-shotting them helps. You know, you want to push waves as fast as you can with TF, because the champ is based on basically shoving and moving or looking for ultimate opportunities. So every bit of extra wave clear helps this champion a lot. That's also why you go Dematerializer over other options in the runes. So yeah, that's with the runes. So this is the current setup I'm using. Obviously you change this depending on who you are facing in the laning phase, AP damage dealer or AD damage dealer. Then I've also seen the new patch notes where they also announced that they were gonna nerf Timewarp tonic. I'm not sure how big this change is. I was a bit worried at first because I thought that maybe they were gonna remove the bonus movement speed completely. If that would be the case, I would for sure drop Timewarp tonic, but it's not the case. They removed like 1% movement speed, which is, you're probably not really gonna notice it. It's a nerf for sure, but I don't think it's big enough to be like, alright, you know, I'm gonna drop Timewarp tonic now. The immediate potion restore, this to most people this will look like it's just a way, like you're just gonna have to adapt to this, right? Because at the end of the day you still get the same amount of health, it's just the instant health you get is slower, right? I would say this can be a nerf in some skirmishes where you're like popping all your corrupting potions and then the moment it pops it gives you extra health. Now this is slower, so that's for sure a nerf. But yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of adapting to it, right? I'll probably still be running Timewarp tonic. Yeah, like I said, the main reason why I use it is because the movement speed it gives, which is really nice to have on TF. They nerfed that by 1%. I don't think that's big enough to be like, alright, I'm gonna drop the rune completely now. I also don't really know what else you would want to go. You could go Cosmic Insight, but then since you don't have Timewarp tonic, you probably also want to start Doran's Ring plus 2 potions instead. Another thing could be this, Perfect Timing plus Minion Dematerializer. That could be a thing. Don't go Magical Footwear plus Demat, because like I said before, tier 2 boots are really important to have on TF, and you want to have them as fast as possible in the game. And if you go this, you have to wait like 12 minutes before you can even get like the tier 1 boots or like the Magical Footwear boots, right? So don't go this, that's not really a good idea. Hex Stack or Hex Flash doesn't really work on TF, I would say. Unless you maybe like are some cheesy support player or whatever, but I think this will still be the way to go. Demat plus Timewarp tonic. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I covered almost everything. So this is the new build for the people that are curious and that want to maybe try it out themselves. I mean, I still think that rapid fire cannon is good for sure. I just think that it's only good if you want to go full utility TF, and I would say full utility TF is only good if you're playing in like Challenger, 1k LP plus, or maybe competitive games where you have like insanely good junglers and AD carries that you can rely on. But for the average solo queue player, I would say like just going full AP TF with Electrocute is just still the best way to play the champ, because in solo queue you can't really rely on your teammates all the time, right? And with this setup you're gonna be able to like one-shot people. Like if we just compare damage, like this game, this is just one game. With the utility build, like it would most of the time be like, you know, ADC and jungler are dealing the most damage, and then I would be like sitting at maybe 12k or something if I would go utility build this game. But with full AP build plus Electrocute, I'm competing with ADC and jungler in terms of damage, and if I play it properly, I can probably even one-shot Aphelios if he doesn't have exhaust or heal or other defensive items. So yeah, that's why I like this build more right now. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. If you have questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them. And then I'll end the video off with the same thing like I said in the beginning. This is my build. I'm not saying that it's the only build, it's the only right way to play Twisted Fate. It's just I'm having success with it, so I think I might as well just share it with you guys. And then you're free to do with it whatever you want, right? So yeah, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.